The end is an odd way to start a story, but it was actually the end where it began. It's funny now because I didn't know it was the beginning. I would have bet all that I had that it was the end. It had all the markings of the end: the silence, the pain, the separation, the secrets, the terrible tumble-down feeling of it all. I stood with my young son in the midst of a New York winter storm, snowflakes melting on our upturned faces as we gazed towards the moon over Central Park. The year was closing out, with the patchwork of other people's conversations as they passed by with boxes and bags and bottles. The urban orchestra of cabs and car horns and the trotting of horses, the jingling of car keys, the rattling of tin can change, and the enthusiastic bells of the army of Salvation Santas collecting coins for the less fortunate. All of this music playing against the crackle of snow falling. It wrapped its way around me, but did little to eliminate the deep dread I felt as I contemplated the new year on the horizon. Owen was 3. His eyes were filled with wonderment. His cheeks had ripened to the sweet shade of pink. I watched him take in the magic of his first time seeing snow. He lifted his little hands, palms up and open to the stars, celebrating the beauty of something falling down. Falling, falling, falling down, he whispered, like a prayer. His words formed soft clouds that drifted from his lips and swirled around me. I looked for something to hold on to. I felt sick, like crazy carnival ride sick. The world was spinning and smiling back at me in a twisted, toothless smirk. I wanted to get off this ride and was searching for the escape route. My marriage was falling, fading, failing. I had no idea why. New York held all our memories, was our home base, our springboard where my husband Reed and I had first met, in a little theater on 57th Street, where we had taken the stage playing Catherine and Rudolpho in Arthur Miller's A View from the Bridge. This was the park where I shared with him that I was pregnant with another man's child. This was the place where Reed declared his devotion to me even against this unlikely backdrop. This was where our friendship transformed into romance as we shared our dreams under the city's skyscrapers on a picnic blanket while watching the world go by and feeling fortunate for our good luck of finding each other. He wooed and won me over a plate of spaghetti in Little Italy with my baby bump tucked beneath the red and white checkered tablecloth. It should have been a terrible time to start a romance. It should not have worked out so well. And yet it did. Until it didn't. Being back in New York was reminding me of who we had been and how far we were from those star-crossed lovers. We'd come back only for a holiday visit. 2 years earlier, we had moved from New York to Los Angeles to try our luck in La La Land as actors. I was not all that excited about the move. I was a Jersey girl with a huge crush on New York, and I had managed to book acting work in the leaner market. But Reed was adamant. He had heard about the abundance of shows and productions and was convinced that we needed to move to Hollywood. Back in New York, the air felt lighter, the horizons familiar, and the sounds comforting. It was hard to think about returning to LA to our small apartment and crumbling marriage. I wanted to hold on to this snow globe scene with Owen. I held my breath in hopes that it would last forever. I lifted my face to the skies and sent out a silent plea as a soft river of tears trickled into my ears. I could not stay frozen. I would have to move. I was fumbling in the dark, feeling for a non-existing light switch. I felt unanchored, unprepared, and slightly unwilling to admit that my marriage was ending. I fought to bring myself back to the moment, the sweet whisper of my son's reverence for snow, and I tried not to think of the innocent casualties. I wish I could say that I prayed, but the truth is that God was a concept as far away as the stars. I had left that fairy tale years before back in New Jersey, prodded into cynicism with Bruce Springsteen's warning, praying in vain for a savior to rise from these streets. I spent my high school days bobbing my head to the lyrics as I sat in the bucket seat of my boyfriend's Camaro, hiking up my Catholic school skirt and defiantly singing along to forbidden lyrics. I blamed sea monkeys for the chip on my shoulder. There was a time before sea monkeys that I had believed in a savior, sent out prayers and orchestrated holy processions to intervene for my mother in her battle with cancer.